Hey Gladiators, welcome to the Scandal After Show here at theStream.tv, the fan show network. We are back on the couch this week to talk about another episode of Scandal. We're live from Hollywood, California. I'm your host, Jocelyn Polite, and I am joined by my co-hosts and Gladiators sitting to my left.
Hello everybody, I'm Janessa Rose.
And over here to my right.
Hey everyone, I'm Jillian Fleischman, and in case you didn't know, her name is Abby.
And next to Jillian.
Hi, I'm Jason Caceres, and there is so much to talk about. I'm just ready to dive in.
There it is.
Yeah, and before we get into that, we want to let you know that this is an interactive show. You can interact with us while we're here, sitting on the couch, talking Scandal. If you're on Twitter, remember to use the hashtag ScandalAS. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember the AS. ScandalAS. And if you're on YouTube, join us in the YouTube chat. Tell a friend and join us in the conversation. We're going to read some questions and comments later in the show and throughout the show, and we want to read yours tonight. So definitely join us here in the conversation. I have got to get right into it. Wow.
Oh my
I
God,
know.
this
This
episode.
is what I was waiting for.
Oh my God,
Mind-blowing.
perfection. So
Oh
much
my-
happened. I don't even know where
Okay,
to
let me
start.
first just start off with, oh my gosh. I mean, this is episode 3, Inside the Bubble. So we've gone from chicken to bubbles. And so, but this is like this was a good episode. This is what I was waiting for, because I feel like the last 2 episodes I liked, and it's hard for me to say anything really negative about Scandal, but at the same time, like I was like, where is it? Where's the Scandal?
Yeah. It's
about time.
We got it tonight. I like this episode a lot. So we're going to start off with Olivia. What's up with Olivia?
She bothered me in this episode. From the very beginning, I didn't get her going to the dad's house and being nice. She was so nice to her dad, who's awful, and so rude to Abby, who did nothing wrong. So from the very beginning, I did not like her tonight.
It kind of looks like she's lost her footing a little bit, like she's trying to get back into it, so she's like reaching out to whoever will listen to her, and in this case being the dad at the beginning of the episode. So I think she's just trying to figure out and trying to get her groove back in slowly. But she definitely got it by
I
the
think
end of the
she's
episode.
kind of bored. And I think she's just kind of being chill and she's not really doing anything specific. She's taking like lamer cases than usual, but I think she's just bored.
Or so we thought.
Or
at
so
the
we thought.
beginning.
I was just
gonna say
we're
that.
That's exactly what I
Or
was
so
just gonna
she
say.
thought too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, one of the things that I like the fact that she ended up on her father's doorstep, because I think throughout all of this and throughout the season, you know, the last few seasons, we've seen such a crazy relationship between her and her father. But the bottom line is she loves her father. And her father loves her.
She
as
does?
crazy as this, yeah, I think so. Because
Yeah,
as
I
crazy
think so
as this
too.
It was
world
so
is, because she
heartwarming.
comes back to him at those moments where she knows that he understands and that kind of thing. And then you see that running through him, that he really does love and care about her. It's just twisted and dysfunctional. But I think that they actually have a real relationship. It's just muddled with a bunch of stuff.
I never believe it. It's one scene and I want to see it kind of progress, and then it's like, okay, well, she'll go to dinner, but what's going to happen next week? I just don't, the relationship, you're right, it's so up and down that you never know if she's just going to him because he's all she has, or if she actually does kind of want a relationship with her dad now.
Well, I know it was a little confusing because what was in the very first episode of this season, she was kind of side-eyeing, I think we were saying, her dad about the whole Harrison situation. And then all of a sudden, you know, Eli invites her to dinner. And she's like, okay, oh, and by the way, bring your boyfriend Jake, which is odd because Jake was the one that took Command's job.
Right.
So
It was kind of heartwarming to see them have that father-daughter relationship that we haven't really seen them have in a while. But there was still an undertone of like creepy, cold serial killer while they were talking and trying to be sweet to each other. So I liked it, but my suspicions were kind of like elevated at some points. So I guess.
I like this dinner. I mean, the fact that like knives ended up between people's fingers and stuff, I like that. I mean, it's just, it was like a dinner that were, you know, and I love the part where they were like, you know, do you want more roast? And, you know, this whole thing. And I mean, they were going through all of that. And then the next thing you know, I just didn't even know where to go. I was like, yes. And then Olivia walks back in and she's like, okay, so is everything good?
I
No.
just have to say, I'm not for team Olivia and Jake, but I am so team Jake, just as a person after this episode. He was so badass.
High
the entire,
five.
He was so great. From like when she calls him, he just like snubs her. He doesn't even open the door when she comes to his apartment. Like everything he did in this episode, I was so happy for. So I am once again team
Jake's character.
Oh, Jason's not feeling this at all.
I kind of disagree a little bit. I think he kind of lost a little bit of tact in this episode. I mean, he could have he could have schemed a little bit more to have this whole "you killed Harrison and the president's son" thing come out, but he just straight up showed up at dinner and was like, "I know you did this, and I'm coming for you." It's like you're kind of setting yourself up to be chased after by the head of B613, who has like an army of assassins under him. What's your plan, Jake? How are you gonna get out of this
I really think that Jake's character is really evolving, and I mean, you know, I wasn't Team Jake initially, but I think he has all this power now, and he's really finding his ground. He has his balls now, as we discovered last episode. But I'm on Team Jake too now.
Three-way high five.
No, he's still super whiny.
Okay, we haven't pulled
Still.
Jason quite over, but I
No.
have to say that the funniest scene to me was when Olivia showed up at his place. And I mean, I love Jake, as everyone knows by now, but him opening the door with like the chain on it, it was just such a kind of
It was
bitch
so
move.
good.
It was hilarious though, because he was just like, yes, what do you want? What do you need? And she's like, you have a woman in there? Maybe. I mean, you know, it's just,
Right. It was great.
Exactly. It was a bitch move. Come on, Jake. Grow
No, see,
some balls.
see,
He doesn't have them back, in my opinion.
I feel like him like revealing it to Papa Pope so quickly is because now the portion of the story is, well, how is Olivia gonna find out? Which I think is cool. And I think the fact that he's kind of rejecting her and making it like showing her, you know, I know that you don't really want me, so don't come and say that you want me. It's like, well, now he's gonna kind of be that savior person, because to me it kind of seems like he might reveal that her dad did it. So I don't know. I love Jake now.
Yeah, and also I've been wanting a guy to not want Olivia as much as they always usually do for the longest time now, and it finally happened. My wish came true. So I think I really like it. I like how it's playing out so far.
she got a door slammed in her face, and I just thought that's so different for Olivia, because you know everyone's always like
Yeah.
opening the doors and the lips are quivering and everything is happening and all this
Yeah.
emotion. And
She
I
had
mean,
a little lip quiver.
she
in
had a
that.
little lip quiver because she was looking like, I have never not been let in. You know what I mean? I'm Olivia Pope.
her
like, how are you not
face.
letting me in? And he
she
didn't let
lost
her in.
her
I
cool
loved
a little.
it.
She lost
Yeah.
her cool
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
She
got jealous.
like walked out and walked back, and she didn't know what she was doing. I love
Threw
this.
her off, yes.
About
Okay, well,
time.
we want to give a shout out to our friends over at Scandal Obsessed. And we want you to go follow them on Twitter. They tweet a lot of great stuff and they retweet,
Yeah.
and you favorite things of ours here at the Scandal After Show. So thank you, Scandal Obsessed. All right, so what did you guys think about Charlie? I asked about Charlie, I believe, on the first episode. I was like,
did.
where's Charlie? Well, we found Charlie. Charlie is back on the plastic, being tortured.
Okay, my question, I hate to be the skeptic out of the group, but if you were B613's like top assassin and you were super trained and you're like martial kung fu artist to the extreme, why are you always ending up on a plastic sheet and getting your ass whooped, pretty much?
I agree. I thought that Charlie was a badass. I know in season 2, when we went through Huck's story, I was like, Charlie is like nobody to be played with. Now he got beat up at the candy machine. I'm like, what is up with Charlie? He's like, I don't know. And then
Yeah.
Quinn kicked his ass. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
like,
Kung Fu
what's
Quinn.
up
That
with-
was
I think
that
it's
was surprising.
karma.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I
It's
think
hitting him
so.
hard.
He's just getting weak. That's what it is. He's becoming Jake. Oh, I love you, Quinn. I need you. Come back in my life. Oh, you're choking me. Come on.
Let's make out on the floor.
What's happening to all the assassins in this show?
What
Yeah.
confused
But
me so much
Quinn-
was that Quinn, like, she was so strong, she took him down, which was surprising in itself. But then she like made out with him. Like she took like 2 steps forward and then 1 step back. It was like she was so weak in some areas and so strong
Is
in
that what
others.
we're calling it? A
I think
makeout?
Quinn is like attracted to intimidation and violence. I think it turns
Right.
her on.
Oh,
and I think
yeah.
that's what turned her on with Huck, and I think that with Charlie it's the same thing, because every situation Huck pulled her teeth out last
those makeout
season,
scenes.
and then all of a sudden she's like, they're like, having sex in parking lots and everything like that. So I think that if she's in a tight situation with somebody, I think Quinn, you're going to get some if you're with Quinn, like you're in a tight
definitely
situation.
idealistic.
I think Quinn really enjoys the dark side in her men, like really, really into that. And I don't think that she made out with him. I think that he kind of went for it, and she ran away right after it, and she was like, "I'm leaving." Perfect timing.
Well, because Jake opened the door after they started making out for a few minutes, so that's why she was like, this isn't happening. No.
And why hide
Good
it
timing.
anyway? I didn't really understand that. I was like, why hide it? I mean, okay, they hooked up and Jake walked in. It's not like they were naked or anything. I didn't get it. Okay. I mean,
She's
it's not like
Charlie
ashamed of
stuff was
herself.
weird tonight.
Yeah, well, Charlie's
Yeah.
stuff is kind of always weird. Don't you feel like
Yes,
it?
I
mean,
do.
Charlie's
Yes.
storyline is always a little like muddled and it's a little odd and off book. And I'm just like, okay. And
Right.
you always have to figure it out probably towards
Right.
the end of the season.
Totally. Yes, I
So, oh my gosh. Okay, well, let's move into all the scandals on Scandal because tonight we got into some scandals. Now I know. What was it? Episode 1. You know, we had like a senator falling over the banister. Never knew what happened to that. That just disappeared. But okay, maybe it'll come back up later. I don't know. But tonight we had some scandals, and the first one to start off with is Cyrus and this male prostitute who I don't like. I don't like him.
There's so many stories. He has so many things going on. He's going to other people. He's in on it. But the Cyrus thing is so weird. When he calls him and he's like, oh, okay, and he hangs up and he's like, okay, Cyrus B, and he's like, Michael, whatever. Like, I can't believe that, like, the chief of staff, like, he's able to talk to him, he's doing all this stuff, and he doesn't even know the guy's last name. Like, he is so strong in so many ways, and then just so weak in other. Like, I don't get how, like, you could be that stupid as the chief of staff.
Well, he's just vulnerable, I think,
Yeah.
emotionally, and I just feel like this guy, I mean, he's young, he's handsome, he seems to be educated. I think Cyrus did a little homework on him and found out that he was a student or whatever at George Washington, if I'm correct with that. I'm sorry if I'm wrong with that. But I just feel like he's young and he's sexy, and it kind of reminds him maybe a little bit of James and when they first met and all that kind
Totally.
of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
And,
think
and
he's
James
younger than
convincing him to
James.
hook
But
up.
is
Yeah.
he being paid?
Yeah,
There was a
he
money
paid him
exchange.
Well, then,
$2,500.
Lizzie Bear, he's feeding information to Lizzie, who's the lobbyist, to get back at Cyrus because he's still upset, or she's upset that David Rosen became Attorney General. So this is how she's getting back at Cyrus. I feel so bad for him. Like, and so
Yeah.
like he's such a bad person, but I feel kind of bad for him in this because
Yeah,
he
he's
never
not
seems
over
to
James
be.
yet.
Yeah,
like,
he's not.
still trying to mourn. It's,
And I don't get Lizzie's
Yeah,
story. Like,
I
this
agree.
whole thing is not weaving together for me. Like, Lizzie's story, I get that she's a lobbyist and that she doesn't like the David Rosen, appointment or whatever. I don't get her yet. I guess I'm not supposed to, and that's, Shonda Rhimes, that's her way of like, I mean, we obviously have all
Right.
boarded the Shonda roller coaster. We have no idea where it's going. I feel like I'm just going up, 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 and I haven't quite, the dip is coming, but I don't know who Lizzie Bear is.
No, I don't. I
and
think that's
where she
kind of the
comes
point.
in. Okay,
I think that
all right.
we are kind of slowly starting to learn more information about her. I mean, we saw her with her kid today at school talking to the other lobbyists. So I think we're starting to learn more information about her. As we talked about last week, her role is very secretive.
Okay.
So I think they're keeping her kind of tight-lipped for a little while. But we're still early in the season. So
Yes,
much
we-
happened.
I don't know. I wanted to just go.
But yeah.
Okay, well, there was another scandal with the the MILF and the murder.
That was the craziest scandal I've seen
Oh
so
my
far.
God.
That was we all of our faces were like, that was insane. That was so twisted and well thought out. Like, props to you, Shonda.
I'm excited that they're bringing back like scandals that we have no idea. Like, it came out of like the woodwork. We're like, I did not see that coming. It's so juicy and it's so good. I'm excited that we're getting back into like the whole premise of the show of the first season, where it's like kind of random scandals tying into Olivia's main arc, I guess. But I did not see that coming.
This was a juicy scandal.
Yeah.
I feel like it was kind of like season 1 of Scandal when we were just, getting to know what the show was going to be about, and there were all these twists and turns that we didn't see. I feel like that kind of brought me back to that season.
I love this scandal because it was truly scandalous. I mean, I thought I couldn't even imagine. I was like, where are they going? I knew it was something that happened. This is Olivia's classmate from law school.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, where is this going? She's looking for her daughter. I mean, it just seemed kind of weird to me. And then all of a sudden, like, she's with her daughter's boyfriend, and I was like, oh, here we go. I mean, this is why we love Scandal. It takes us
Yeah.
to those places where it's like, we're not supposed to talk about that, and and then she kills her daughter.
I could not believe that she actually killed her daughter. Like, there's people out there that do this?
Right. And had Olivia find her, because I don't care what she says. I know Olivia asked her when she pushed her up against the wall. She said, did you have me find her so you can kill her? I think she did have her find her so she could kill her,
we don't
definitely.
know yet that she killed her.
We're not
because
100%.
remember at the end with the briefcase or the folder that they were trying to tell in the elevator. I think that we haven't seen the end of this scandal, which is cool because it seems like we see one scandal per episode. So this one might continue on a little longer because we don't know who killed her yet because she was fighting with that strange guy they couldn't recognize in the elevator.
They did arrest her at the end of the episode, though, for
Right.
the murder of her stepdaughter, they said.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's going to get even more juicy, and I think that we're going to find out something completely different, and I think that it's going to become such of a big case that Olivia's going to, like, get back in it. and maybe Gabby will want to get
Gabby.
some of that
Gabby.
action
We'll
too.
just affectionately call her Gabby.
Well, I really hope, I mean, just to like, for now to wrap up the whole MILF murder, I kind of hope that the mom, I know it sounds so scandalous, but I hope that the mom did kill her. I think that's juicy. I think when I saw that tonight, I just thought like, wow, like we're going there to those crazy places. So I kind of hope it ends up that way. But one person that we didn't talk about that just quickly to go over is like Rosen. I don't like David Rosen.
Well, this is bad, Rosen.
Yeah.
He's
First
just
of all-
blackmailing everyone with those B613 files to get what he wants.
Okay.
Which is, I guess, better Rosen than original Rosen.
But are we bored by him?
I mean, I'm glad he's finally growing some sort of a spine and starting to blackmail people and joining the big boys and getting all Washington, D.C.
Well, he's inside the
But-
bubble.
Exactly.
That was the whole part of the
However,
topic.
to show up at the president's office and be like, oh, that courtroom was so vicious, I had no idea that, we might lose. Really? You're Attorney General now and you have no idea that it could get that vicious? Come on.
I feel like every single time he like stands his ground, something embarrassing happens to him and he just loses all that power. I feel like it's kind of like the roller coaster of David. Like he never actually gets further up. Well, he did, but it ends up always going down further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
see
he did
that.
cause a
He
suicide,
never- yeah.
apparently. So-
Well, as you see, I don't have much to say because I don't like David Rosen, but maybe as the season goes on, we can. But we want to give a few more shout outs and thank you for joining us on YouTube chat. Forever Johnny Boy and Sean Kessel, we want to thank you for joining us and go ahead and subscribe to the Stream TV and make sure that you join us for all your favorite after shows. We've got them all here, not just Scandal, but a ton of after shows. So make sure that you subscribe to the stream and join us for all of them. All right, so let's move to Gladiator Down because Abby is another one that's starting to get on my nerves. Maybe it's a Rosen Abby thing I've got going, but Abby is just, she wants back in.
Yeah.
I know that you were saying, Jillian, that she wants back in. I wasn't sure if she wanted back in for sure. I think that like Janessa and I were like, does she want back in? But
Yeah.
I think that she wants back in. I mean, how she showed up at Olivia's door and was like, okay, here's what we have to do. We have to do X, Y, Z, because it was her friend too. And Olivia wouldn't give her any information. I feel like Abby wants back in because clearly the fact that they call her Gabby, Red, no one at the White House really respects her. So I feel like she at least felt like she had a huge part of being in Pope and Associates, and I feel like she's kind of lost at the White House.
I don't like her at the White House. I like her with OPA, and I'm like, when is she coming back? Because this whole, like, her being a gladiator in the White House is not working for me at all. And I know she's still, like you were saying, she wants back in because she's still making contact with Olivia, like, hey, I think she still wants to know what's up in that world. But this is, like, boring me with her.
I mean, they were friends for so long. She showed up at Olivia's door just
Yeah.
asking, as a friend, what happened to our other friend? Like, I'm not asking you as a lawyer, as your associate, as your employee. Just talk to me as a friend. And Olivia shut her out. So.
And why is
Yeah.
Olivia so mad at her? I mean, Olivia, like, really is pissed off at
Right,
her.
I don't get that.
I don't know either. I mean, I know that they had some tension and they had a talk, I believe, last season. And you let us know because, everything.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Scandal. It moves so fast and so many things happen. And, most of the time I have to watch this like 2 and 3 times to get everything. But I know that they kind of have their thing. And I think a lot of it is that she's in the White House and like Olivia's kind of like, that's her place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, in a way?
I think that she wants to be in the White House. I think that she just wants her friendship back with Olivia more than anything else. And I mean, she got her scotch with the president, and he learned her name.
For now.
And, yeah, for now. And I thought that was good that she finally got that respect from him.
See, I think that it was so disrespectful that he brought her in for that, and then all he wanted to know was about Olivia.
He was using her.
But
Did you see her
completely.
face?
I thought
that was
that-
so sad.
I think that
True.
she is just she doesn't really have a place in the White House. I was the first person to say I love that she's there. Olivia left and she's in the spotlight, but now I feel that she can't. It's not that she can't handle it. It's not the place for her because at OPA she was able to feel part of the group and feel like she was doing something good, and now I just feel like she's kind of lost.
Well, she has to pay her dues also. She did kind of just show up at the White House because Olivia left. They don't really know her. They don't know how she operates. Everyone was comfortable with Olivia. I mean, they were a group from the beginning, from Fitz's first campaign. So they have, what is it, like 5-6 years now together?
Yeah.
And she just steps in on like an operating team already.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
who are you?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, she's definitely not inside the bubble, and moving into the bubble that I enjoy, I don't know what kind of segue that was, but I tried, is Huckleberry Quinn. I mean, I love Huck and Quinn together. It's so complicated and weird
It
and
is.
twisted and dysfunctional, but you know, the thing that I loved the most about tonight was when Quinn just made that statement, and she was like, I went missing for like 24 hours and nobody cared. Like, nobody cared
Yeah.
to find me. All I've done is be there for you guys, be there for you, what was it, Huck, at your video store,
Yeah,
at
your
your
copy
computer
store,
store,
yeah.
and be there for Liv and find her and everything. And it's just like she went missing and nobody cared. I
She
kind of
popped
understood
their
her.
bubble.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
She did.
she did.
Huck at the end did say, like, if you were missing, I would look for you, didn't he?
He did.
He
Yeah,
did.
but she had to beg for it, so it's kind of like it doesn't really count, you know?
I think part of the reason why that relationship is kind of confusing and it's hard to describe is because you never really see emotion from Huck unless they're kind of in an awkward makeout or if he says something like that, oh, I would look for you. Like, that's his term of affection. So I feel like it's
Yeah.
really hard to judge this relationship because they're both kind of weird. I
And
feel
during
like.
makeout, even when they make out, there's not really a lot of emotion coming
No.
from him. I mean, it seems so like robotic when
Right.
they make. You know,
Right.
when they make out, it's just weird. It's just in that Huck way.
And it's weird because last
aggressive.
season, I mean, at the beginning of the season, he hated her because she showed him about his family and he wouldn't even speak to her. So the fact that he said that is, I mean, maybe we're going to see more about that relationship because he's getting to be nicer to her now.
I still want to know what happened with his family because it seems like there's a big hole
Yeah.
in that plot, and Quinn is definitely a part of it. And it seems like there's tension between Quinn and Huck, and that at the end of this episode was the first time we actually saw them make the connection that they had last season,
Right.
and kind of reestablish some sort of friendship.
I don't know if we're going to get closure on that this season, but I definitely think that we're going to dig a little bit more into his story because I think thus far he has the most interesting story, I believe, on Scandal. But can we move into poor Mellie? Mellie was hot on the trail of this whole Yosemite thing that she was in, this murder. She was hot on the trail. We felt like she was back. Jillian was happy because was it you, Janessa, that said she's gone from chicken to apples or something like that?
She's eating healthy now, and she's dressing up nice. She looks really pretty, and she's holding meetings for things that aren't just that important to everybody else, which is really sad. What do you
I
guys
feel
think?
like we should have known. You know, when you watch something and then you think about it after, it's like, it's too good to be true. She's on the right track. She's getting better. She's getting over the loss of Jerry. And then, oh, wait. Something is just terrible and you feel so awkward for her. I feel like now we should have known that it wasn't going to work out the way that it
That was
it
so
did.
awkward.
It was
It was
so
an
awkward.
epic fail. It was so terrible because first it was just she had all these people in this room and they're all sitting there like, why are we here? And and she thought she was on it. I mean, her lawyer skills were there. She was
Yeah.
like, this is why this is happening. She had PowerPoint going and everything. And it was such a fail. And I felt bad for her. And that was a bad moment. So she's back on the couch crying.
Yeah, I think she's just tired of playing the first lady, playing the nice little housewife who just smiles at the cameras and waves. She went to law school. She has a degree. She wants to put her brain to use and make a difference in the world.
I think it was nice to see her, though, not be the first lady. We only see her as being in that tension with Fitz or being so upset about the loss of Jerry. It's nice to see her, do what she
skills.
did before she was with Fitz and before she was first lady. So hopefully, I hope that she's going to be better now. It's not going to go back into a slump. But
Just like that, it was gone, and she lost all that. She was back to being the first lady, which is so disappointing.
yeah, when she
I
rushed
had
out
faith.
to go to the meeting, it was
Yeah.
okay, first lady mode. I got to get out of there. Yeah, totally.
Well, we will definitely see what happens with her, but we're going to transition into some questions, and because we want to see what you're thinking about this episode out there and what kind of questions you have for us. So our first question comes from @SnickerSnack. Could Dominic be Olivia's father? Why would Eli, Papa Pope, use his hair DNA in the quest for Jerry's paternity, if not to find out if Olivia is his? Right? I mean, mind blown.
What?
I thought he used his paternity just because he wanted the test to show that the results wouldn't match, right? For
But why Dominic's hair?
I mean, I think it was out of
You've
convenience.
thrown us for
but
a
I
Well,
don't
let me say this. At Snickersnack, we had a conversation about this on Twitter, and she brought up a very good point because she said during that interrogation with Eli that Dominic looked at Olivia and said, I haven't seen you since you were little.
Right, I do remember that.
And it was a weird thing. And also, Eli said that Maya Pope has had this relationship with Dominic since before Olivia was born. So did he kind of take some and baggy it for some
Snicker
information?
snack, you are getting me thinking right
Yeah.
now.
For
Snicker
real.
snack.
And how much
You
of this,
guys-
that would be an ultimate scandal.
Yeah.
That would be such a scandal.
Yeah.
How would Olivia
Wow.
handle that? Is
You're
the
hearing
question.
it here first.
You
with
guys,
Yes.
Snicker snack.
please weigh in on this. I'd
I
love
know.
to know what all of you guys have to think because I'm like
We're
confused.
intrigued, Snicker Snack, and we love that. That
Yes.
was a good one.
Yes,
So
it
yes, bring on more. All right, so we're going to go to our question 2 from @ForeverJohnnyBoy. What did you think of Mellie and Andrew together? I loved them together, and I am mad that Fitz took that from her.
How dare he? First of all,
Right.
he's cheating with Olivia, so why is he getting mad that his wife is cheating too? It's not really cheating, okay? If you're both doing it, it's kind of like amicable divorce.
Didn't Karen walk in on them together? And that was
daughter.
kind of how it started, was because the daughter knew. Do you think that Olivia, or that the kids, or well now just Karen, knows about her father and Olivia?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So
I don't think we've seen that. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
something that we've seen. I think that's been hidden from them because they've been away in boarding school
Right.
and everything.
it was nice to see Mellie and Andrew because it was actually someone who gave her the respect and, liked her and respected her. Fitz at that point was just kind of pushing her away and kind of rejecting her. So I liked them together, but we haven't seen him yet this season, right?
Well, I just felt like Mellie needs to get hers too. I mean, obviously Fitz is not giving it to her; he's giving it to Olivia, and so
Right.
it's so now it's like you took that away from her. So not only have you taken like all these other things away from her, but now she can't even get any booty in the White House.
My question,
I just think it's wrong.
though, is okay, if she's back to if she's not crying on the couch anymore or going to the graveyard, does that mean that it is no longer 1976 in her pants? That is my question.
Okay.
I don't know the answer, and I don't really want
Because
to.
that plays a very important part with Andrew. Andrew could come back in if she.
Well,
saying.
Okay, well, on that,
on that note, I don't know, but I would love to see them together again. I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to see him come back in because he is vice president. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully that'll come
Yeah.
back
And
out.
I love to see Mellie and all her little experiences. And I always forget about that romance. So I'd like to see him come back and see Mellie get some action.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
me
so.
too.
I mean, we're still on episode 3. I feel like so much has happened. Of course, he's going to come back. We have so many episodes to go, but in my mind, I'm just so confused because we've so much has happened, and we're only 3 hours in.
Yeah,
so-
and we have a long way to go, to be
Yeah,
honest. So
we do.
I think we're going to get there. But we want to give some more Twitter shout outs to @DipDied. Oh my gosh, help me with that one. I wanna make sure-
Dip Died
I'm
Kniff,
sorry.
yeah.
@DipDiedKniff and @JSky317 and @CraftyActor. All right.
Ooh.
Well, thank you for watching the show, and we hope that you get involved with us and come on and ask the questions. You see that we like to go deep here into some questions and theories, so we love to bring all of that on. So we want you to go ahead now and subscribe to us, hit subscribe, click like, and comment below. We love to read your comments. We love interacting and answering the questions that you have and seeing your ideas. Also use the hashtag ScandalAS on Twitter, and let's talk back and forth. We've been having a lot of conversations. I know all of us have. We're going to be up tonight. We're going to be up all throughout the week. And so we're there to answer all your questions and to talk scandal. I love it, and it just never ends for me because
Me
there's so
either.
much that goes on that,
Especially
oh my God.
after this week.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And I'd love to see more like that one question by, who was that?
Snicker
Snicker
Snack.
Snack.
Snacker. You rule Snicker
Keep
Snacker.
them coming.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you for joining us at theStream.tv tonight and for choosing us as your after show for Scandal. We will be back next week for another explosive episode of Scandal, and we will see you next week. All right. Night, gladiators.
See ya. Oh, we did it at the same time.